Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story from ancient antiquity that is literally bursting with cosmic warfare, shape-shifting deception, and just high-octane mythology. We're looking at a text from the Astika Parva. It describes a literal battle for the elixir of immortality, the Amrita. It's a story of absolutely epic proportions, and we're going to break it all down to understand exactly what happened when the heavens went to war. Okay, let's dive right into this because this is the central mystery we're solving together today. We usually look up at a solar or lunar eclipse and think, orbital mechanics, celestial alignments, right? But what if I told you that ancient civilizations looked up at that exact same sky and saw the aftermath of a brutal, mythic decapitation? Yeah, no joke. Today we're connecting the dots between an ancient, incredibly violent cosmic grudge and the astronomical phenomena we still see in our skies right now. Section 1. The Deception and the Amrita. To understand the chaos that's about to unfold, we really have to set the stage first. The gods have been desperately seeking the Amrita. This is the nectar of immortality. But they aren't the only ones. The Daityas and the Danavas, these fearsome, powerful beings equipped with top-tier armor and devastating weapons, well, they've attacked the gods to claim this ultimate prize for themselves. The tension is off the charts, and brute force alone just isn't going to win the day here. Actually, the initial conflict doesn't even end in a clash of swords. It ends in a brilliant piece of tactical deception. The Daityas and Danavas have the upper hand, right? But then the valiant Lord Vishnu steps in. Rather than going for a frontal assault, Vishnu transforms. He literally disguises himself as this breathtaking enchantress. Accompanied by the hero Nara, Vishnu uses this female form to completely distract the mighty Danavas. It is a stealth mission of the highest order. Right under their noses, he slips the Amrita out of their hands and delivers it safely back to the gods, who immediately, and with a lot of fright to be honest, begin chugging it down with absolute delight. Section 2. The Origin of Eclipses. This right here is the crucial turning point of our explainer. This is exactly where ancient mythology directly crashes into the natural science of the sky, and the events unfold incredibly fast. While the gods are frantically drinking the nectar they'd been craving, someone else slips into their ranks. A Danava named Rahu realizes what's going on and pulls a deception of his own. He disguises himself as a god to infiltrate the group and take a sip of the Amrita. He raises the nectar to his lips, but the very second the liquid hits his throat, bam! His cover is completely blown. Surya, the sun god, and Soma, the moon god, recognize who he really is and instantly shout it out. And the reaction? Immediate and brutal. Narayana doesn't hesitate for a fraction of a second. Without a single word, he unleashes his blazing discus and instantly slices off the well-adorned head of Rahu right there on the spot. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the imagery. Because that nectar had already reached Rahu's throat, his head is now immortal. So instead of dying, this giant severed head, which the text describes as looking like a massive mountain peak, rises straight up into the sky, screaming these dreadful echoing cries. Meanwhile, down below, his massive headless trunk just collapses to the ground, rolling around in these violent spasms that literally make the earth, with all its mountains, forests, and islands, tremble. I mean, it is an absolutely terrifying visual. So why does this ancient, frankly gory myth matter to us? Well, because it explains the universe. Ever since that moment, Rahu's immortal, disembodied head has held a burning grudge against Surya the sun and Soma the moon for exposing his disguise. The ancient texts tell us that an eclipse is literally Rahu catching up to his enemies in the sky and swallowing them whole. But here's the catch. Because he has no body, the sun and the moon just pass right through his severed neck and reappear on the other side. It's just a breathtaking way to narrate the mechanics of our solar system, isn't it? Section 3. The dreadful battle commences. The story absolutely does not end with Rahu. His decapitation totally shatters any remaining illusion of peace. Narayana drops his enchanting female form completely, and the stealth mission is officially over. Now, on the shores of the saltwater sea, an all-out world-shaking war erupts between the gods and the furious Asuras. Just listen to these commands ringing out across the battlefield. Cut, pierce, at them, hurl down, advance. Thousands of sharp-pointed javelins, lances, and weapons are flying from all sides. If you were standing there, the air would be thick with shrieks of distress and these violent, staccato battle cries. Warriors at a distance are hurling sharp iron missiles to bring each other down, while those locked in close quarters are literally beating each other to death with their bare hands. This chaos builds into an almost unimaginable scene of carnage. The sensory storytelling in this text is incredibly visceral. It describes Asuras mangled by discs and crushed by maces, vomiting blood and falling prostrate on the earth. Severed heads, still wearing their bright gold armor, are just continually dropping onto the battlefield. The text leaves us with this haunting, striking image. Bodies are so drenched in gore that the piles of dead, massive Asuras look exactly like red-dyed mountain peaks scattered all across the landscape under the rising sun. Section 4. The Blazing Sudarsana Discus. Right when the battle is raging at its absolute fiercest, the heavy hitters arrive. Narayana and Narayana finally step directly into the fray. Narayana sees Nara holding a celestial bow, and in response he realizes, okay, it's time to end this. He summons a weapon of mass, world-ending destruction. Think of this like an ancient military tech breakdown. The Sudarsana discus isn't something Narayana just pulls from a scabbard. It comes directly from the sky the exact moment he calls it to his mind. The text describes it as having the effulgence, this brilliant, blinding radiance of Agni, the fire god. It's a weapon capable of leveling entire hostile towns, blazing like the apocalyptic fire that consumes all things at the end of a yuga, the end of an era. And this brilliantly illustrates the terrifying nature of the weapon. Narayan, possessing arms thick and powerful like the trunk of an elephant, hurls this blazing disc with tremendous force. But here's the crazy part. The disc almost seems alive. As it courses through the sky, it acts with a mind of its own. Sometimes it blazes like fire and incinerates thousands of Daityas and Danavas at once. Sometimes it strikes them down from above. And sometimes when it hits the earth, the text actually says it drinks their lifeblood like a goblin. It's not just a tool, it's a terrifying, animate force of destruction. So we're looking at this incredible clash of tactics. On one side, you have the gods using precise, supernatural, terrifyingly advanced weaponry. You've got Narayana's blood-drinking, fiery discus and Nara's pinpoint gold-headed arrows. But on the other side, the Danavas respond with brute, overwhelming elemental force. They ascend into the sky and they literally rip up thousands of mountains. And we're talking mountains described as being as white as raindropped clouds, complete with dense forests and flat tops. They just start hurling these massive land masses down onto the gods. As these mountains collide in midair, they produce this deafening, tremendous roar that makes the earth and her forests violently tremble. Section 5. Victory and the nectar secure. The sheer scale of the Danava's attack is overwhelming, but the gods have a counter-strategy. The dust of the battle is about to settle. As the sky is literally falling, thousands of huge mountains raining down, the divine hero Nara steps up. He doesn't flinch. He draws his celestial bow and fires a barrage of his gold-headed arrows with such speed and devastating power that he intercepts the falling mountains midair. He literally pulverizes solid rock into fine dust before it can even hit the ground. The text says he reduces the rocks to dust so completely that the heavens themselves are entirely covered in a thick cloud of pulverized mountain. That display of power is the breaking point. The Asuras realize they cannot win this. Between Nara turning their mountains to dust and the furious Sudarsana discus scouring the battlefield like a sentient, blazing flame, the Danavas are entirely discomfited. Their bold hearts just fail them. To escape the carnage, the mighty warriors completely abandon the field. Half of them flee downward, tunneling deep into the dark bowels of the earth, while the rest plunge desperately into the deep saltwater sea just to hide from the burning wrath of the gods. With the enemy banished, cosmic order is finally restored. The victorious gods respectfully take Mount Mandara, that's the massive mountain they had used as a churning rod to get the nectar in the first place, and they carefully place it back on its original base. The battlefield falls quiet, and the gods, now bearing the nectar of immortality within them, make the heavens resound with their joyous shouts. They return to their celestial abodes, but not before handing the vessel containing the remaining Amrita over to Narayana, trusting him with its careful keeping for all eternity. We've seen gods and demons clash, mountains turn to dust, and a decapitated head doomed to chase the sun and moon forever. It brings us to this final question. How do breathtaking, violent epics like this shape our understanding of how ancient civilizations explained the mechanics of their universe? What we've explored today isn't just an action-packed story. It's a testament to humanity's deep-seated need to find meaning, consequence, and narrative in the natural world around us. Think about that the next time you look up at an eclipse. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you on the next one.